All right, all right, all right. Okay, we're now recording.
All right. I guess I'll go ahead and introduce myself. If you don't know me, my name is Ivory Gilcher. I am a director slash director Q Scentsy consultant. I've been selling Scentsy for 3 years now, and I don't know. Let's see. Our meeting tonight is going to be on incentive trip inspiration. So it's not going to be what you think it's going to be, where we sit down and we plan everything out individually for everybody and we really go over points. We're not really going to go over a lot of that tonight. Really, what we want to do is to give you the inspiration and the motivation about incentive trips so that you can find the drive and the passion within yourself to walk away knowing that you can do this, and kind of give you different perspectives from people who may not have been with the company very long, people that have been with the company for forever, and how each person has to find their own way and to find that drive within themselves to be able to accomplish and set a goal and reach it. So I want to start by telling everybody that I have personally earned 2 incentive trips with Scentsy since I've been a consultant for 3 years. I earned Disney and I also earned Punta Cana. I'm by no means an expert at earning incentive trips, which is why I've asked other people to help me in on this training call. But I do love inspiring other people. So I think this will be a really good training call for everybody. And I hope that you walk away feeling like you have that aha moment, like I can do this and I'm going to do this. And even if it's just earning level 1 or if it's earning level 4, you're going to have that aha moment, I hope. We'll go ahead and go to the next slide. So we're going to go over tonight, we're going to go over the previous destinations that Scentsy's taken people. We're going to talk about some experiences and have other people share their experiences that they've had on the past incentive trips. We are going to talk about what you can expect when you're on the incentive trips. We're going to talk about the perks that you're going to get from being on an incentive trip and earning an incentive trip, and also talk about the perks that you get while you're working towards the incentive. Whether you reach it, whether you don't reach it, there's still benefits to come from working towards the incentive trip and working your business. What's required to earn this incentive trip, and some ways that you can go about earning that incentive trip. So some of the past places that Scentsy has taken its consultants, I think Chili and I tried to go back as far as we could today to figure out exactly which places that Scentsy has gone in the past. I know in most recent years, they've done a couple of different options. So last year was Punta Cana. For the top 100, they could go to Africa. But some of the people also had the option, if they earned Punta Cana and they didn't earn Africa, then they could choose one of the other incentive trips from around the regions. I think Great Barrier Reef was one, Rome was another one, and Punta Cana was the other one. So, or they could take Reunion. Disney World in 2016 was a family trip, and 2015 they did a Caribbean cruise. In 2014 they did Greece for the top 100, and Atlantis for those that weren't the top 100. In 2013 they did Pick Pack Play, and you got to choose your destination. I believe, because I wasn't with the company then, but I believe they had the options. You were kind of ranked in a system, and so the first consultants got to choose first, and then it kind of went down the list. So there was Charleston, South Carolina, Washington, D.C., New York, Costa Rica, British Columbia, and Hawaii. And those were the different destinations that you could have chosen. And they were all, I believe, at different times during the year, different months. In 2012, Scentsy was in Punta Cana for the first Punta Cana trip. And then 2011, they also did Disney World. 2010, they went to Hawaii, and they also did San Francisco for the top 30 consultants. And in 2009, they did Canada and an Alaskan cruise. So sometimes there's more than one trip throughout the year. Sometimes it's a leadership cruise. Sometimes it's a leadership incentive trip. I think they did New York last year for the leadership incentive, and some people were able to earn that. But Scentsy has definitely taken us all around the globe, and they have really pulled out all the stops for some of the places that they've taken us. And as you can see, they've gone back to some of their favorite locations because they've been so popular. And of course, this year is the Mediterranean cruise. So that's a first, not the first cruise, but it's definitely the first Mediterranean trip for all consultants to be able to earn it. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to share some experiences that people have had on previous incentive trips. So Misty is going to share about her trip to Rome, and I believe that was this year that she took the incentive to Rome instead of going to Punta Cana. Misty, are you there?
I am. Hello.
All right. Hey, would you share a little bit for us and tell us what your rank was whenever you started the period, the earning period, and what was your mindset going into the incentive? Were you, I've got this, I don't care what it takes, I'm going to do it, or were you hesitant and there's no way I can earn it? And if you were, what changed throughout that incentive period for you? What destination did you pick, and did you bring a guest with you? And then what were some of your favorite experiences on that trip?
So usually when we go into an incentive period, I am like, oh, I want to do this because I like to travel, but I don't like to pay for it because I'm cheap. So there's only 2 incentive trips that I think I sat back and said, this is not happening. And I took a break for 2 years, but for the Punta Cana one, we sat and we mulled it over, and we had earned the previous Punta Cana trip, and we'd gone there on our honeymoon. So we were kind of over Punta Cana. So we researched the options, and we decided that we would do Rome because we just didn't think it was something we could afford to do on our own feasibly. And we knew that Scentsy would treat us like rock stars, which they did. So that was our mindset, I think, from the very beginning, was that we were shooting to earn it for 2 so that we could choose Rome. And I was a director going into it. I've been director. Ooh, bless you. I've been a director for 8 years. So this year I'm dropped to Director Q, and I want that Mediterranean cruise like nobody's sister. And so we'll be director by the end of the month. But so I took my husband because the only trip that I haven't taken him on was the first one. And if you have not earned it for 2 and taken a spouse, the second you take your spouse on one of these trips, it's like an eye-opener for them to where they become like all in. They're like, oh, I get it. I get why you work so hard. I get, like, it brings them into the fold, if that's, I don't know how to say it, or it gets them drinking the Kool-Aid to where they're like, oh, what can I do to help you earn the next trip? So they start collecting orders and things like that because they start to understand the value in the trip and why you work so hard to get it. Let's see. Some of the stuff they had planned for us in Rome so the first night was a mixer, and I think there was about 6 of us from the US that went to Rome, which was awesome. And I knew all of them, so it was kind of cool. But what was more awesome was that we got to meet quite a few of the Region 2 consultants. And I think all of us that went have been consultants for several years. So it was nice to go back and it's almost like stepping back in time with Scentsy and seeing where we were back in the day, because they're just getting plug-in warmers. And the reason why they're just getting them is they're going along the same path. They don't have clean and laundry products yet, I think, or one or the other. There's one, they don't have all the products we have yet because they're walking the same walk as we are, and they're getting their new products a little at a time to maintain and grow them naturally. So there's always something new for their customers to enjoy. And it gives them a lot to look forward to as consultants, and growing their business. So that was awesome. And
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you were getting to mingle with these other consultants, since you were in another region at another region's incentive trip, we come from a country that's fluently speaking English, and I know that our home office speaks fluent English. What was it like with the language there? Was there a language barrier with you and the other consultants?
Nope. I think I'm trying to think if there was anybody that didn't speak English. And actually in Europe, so I was in the military, and so I was stationed over there. In Europe, they teach English in the schools as a second language. Like, it's required. Not like here, you can choose if you want to, and then you can choose if you want Spanish or whatever, but they have to learn English. It's part of their curriculum. So that was pretty cool. And I do want to segue a little bit. When you pick one of these other regions, we did have to pay a little bit of difference in our airfare, but I was able to shop around for prices, and I was able to get, I think our budget, or Scentsy has a budget for how much they're going to spend on your airfare for your incentive trip. So we were able to spend, they gave us that to put towards our airfare, and I was able to get our airfare round trip for less than that. Plus, we did a little extra in Germany because I figured if they were going to pay our airfare to Europe, I was going to take advantage of that too. The second day we got to choose between going to the Vatican or going to the Colosseum. And we chose the Colosseum only because I do not like crowds. And it was right at Easter time. And nobody wants to go to the Vatican at Easter because you're just asking for trouble, especially if you don't like crowds. So we went to the Colosseum, which was amazing. And we did some walking tours. And I tell you, like, the history in the U.S. is nothing compared to Europe. Like, if you get a chance to go, like, I fell asleep in history class. I hated history until I went to Europe. And then it was like an eye-opener on how amazing history is. Because you go over and you see this Colosseum that is hundreds and hundreds. Is that, like, how old is the Colosseum? It's crazy old. And, like, the buildings over there, they're still using them. It's amazing. And then the third day, or was it, I think the next day we were on our own for the daytime. So we went on a food tour because I like food. And that's like my primary thing. Like, I'm scooping out food wherever I go. So we went on a food tour, and they took us all over, and we went, like, in the Pantheon, and we saw the fountain, and we took all kinds of pictures and ate all kinds of food. It was amazing. And then that night they took us to a winery, which, if you are familiar with Scentsy at all, there's generally no alcohol at any events. And they had wine, and I was like, holy crap. I think I took a picture because I was like, oh, we got wine. But it was like a winery, and we got to make our own pasta. And it was just a lot of fun. And, like, you get to, after all the hard work of earning the incentive trip, like, that's the reward that I give my husband, because sometimes it's just quality time for us to, reconnect as a couple, because usually in the fall, he's a Scentsy widow, and he just has to deal with it because I'm working on a new trip for us.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I'll go ahead and share my experience with Disney. I was a star consultant going into the incentive trip period, and I was able to earn just my one promotion to superstar consultant. And I believe that my team grew, but I didn't hit director numbers. So I just maintained superstar consultant. That year you got points for all kinds of things, but my husband is from Florida, and so he was like, woohoo, Disney, yay. So he wasn't very thrilled about it because he grew up there. It's not a special thing to him, but my kids were all about Disney. Even though my husband's from there, we'd go visit there, and every time we go visit the grandparents, we always try to make a trip to Disney. And so my goodness, Emerson, I think, was 7 and Brenton was 4. So they were both right at that age. Emerson had already been, and the last time Brenton went to Disney World, he was like a year old. So he really didn't remember it. And then now he's 4 years old. And as soon as my kids heard the word Disney World and mom can earn this trip to Disney World, it became a family ordeal. I am a teacher. And so my oldest son was in first grade, and he would come to my classroom and pick up my catalogs, and he would go to all the other teachers' classrooms and he'd be like, do you want to buy Scentsy from my mom? And he would like take orders from them. And he, like, I'm not kidding, came back with like $100 order one day. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, we're going to Disney World, Mom. I was like, okay, I guess I have no choice but to be all in this, because I can't disappoint my children. I have to earn this for them. They have to come with me, and they're going to get this amazing trip, and it's going to be wonderful, and it's going to be a whole family experience. So that was my mindset going into it, is I can't let my kids down. I have to do this. I have to make this happen somehow, some way. I'm going to plan it out, and I'm going to figure out what I have to do. So we ended up earning Disney World. I earned it for myself, just for one, but I was able to, at that time, purchase to bring my husband and my kids with me. So I was able to bring them along for less than what it would have costed for our entire family to have gone on our own. So it was a really good deal. Since you definitely, when you purchase buy-ins, they don't overcharge you. They give you a really good deal on the buy-ins. So we were able to get our airfare for really cheap for the rest of the family. And then for Scentsy reimbursed me for my airfare. So I was able to take that money and use that for spending money while we were in Disney. So we were able to get our own airfare for cheaper than what Scentsy was able to allot for the money. Let's see, experiences when we were at Disney World. I'll say that when we arrived at Disney World, the resort that we were staying at was not a resort that my husband or I would have ever picked, because it was too fancy, too expensive, and it was not something that we definitely would have been able to afford otherwise if it wasn't for Scentsy. We would have been at one of the cheaper, lower end resorts at Disney World if we had done a family vacation there. So this was the yacht club, and it smelled amazing. First of all, when you walked in there, it was like Scentsy had something to do with that. You walked in and it was like, oh, it smells so good in here. And you get to your room, and we have this wonderful room. It's looking out over the water out in front of the little bay that they have. And there's a little water park for the kids. There's little ice cream shops. Scentsy had given us 4-day park hopper passes, so we could go to any park that we wanted to. We could go back and forth if we needed to, if the kids needed to come home and rest and take a nap, because that happens. They get exhausted when they're at Disney World and cranky, and then everybody gets cranky. So you just go home and take a nap, and then you go back. And so that was nice that Scentsy gave park hopper passes, not just passes to the park. There were room drops, which I had no idea, because I'd never earned an incentive trip. I didn't know that there were room drops. So I come back from the park one night, and we have these gifts sitting on our bed. And I was like, oh my God, this is so sweet. And then I realized that's a normal thing for Scentsy. And then we went, let's see, to it's not MGM anymore, is it? Hollywood Studios, I think is what they're calling it now. So we went to Hollywood Studios, and that night, Scentsy had reserved Hollywood Studios for us, just for the Scentsy consultants, from like 10 p.m. to like 2 a.m. And if you've ever been to Disney World, you know that the parks are always packed and the lines take forever. And at Hollywood Studios, there's only a couple of really good like roller coaster rides, and then there's a couple really good kids rides, but the lines are always like an hour long. So you spend most of your time at Disney World waiting in lines. Well, because Scentsy had this private showing of this phantasmic water show for us, and then they had the whole park shut down just for us. The streets were literally lined with all of the employees of Disney World, and they had desserts, like a buffet of desserts lining the streets. You could just go down the street, pick up a drink of, punch if you were thirsty, and some cakes and cookies, and everybody's dancing in the streets, and they're just, the employees, the Scentsy people, everybody is just loving the atmosphere. And even though it's late for the kids were loving being able to just run up and down and go from one ride to the next ride and not have any wait at all. In fact, the first ride that we went to was the Toy Story ride, and Heidi and Orville and the kids got on the little car in front of us. It was like a Toy Story game, and you try to shoot the little aliens and stuff with your little laser light. And so we got to, every time we spun around, we'd see Heidi and Orville shooting the little Toy Story figures. So it was really fun to get to see them interacting with their family and having fun on these trips too. So they're not just these, people that are, off and away and doing like at Scentsy Reunion, when they're having all these business meetings and plans and everything that they have to be somewhere to schedule and to make sure that everything is running smoothly. On the incentive trips, they're hanging out with everybody. They're by the pool. They're by the, they're on the rides. They're hanging out with people, and they're getting to know their Scentsy consultants and enjoying that Scentsy family atmosphere. Disney is where Chili and I actually got to become really good friends. So Disney for me wasn't just a family experience for my kids. Disney for me was an experience for me to be able to embrace the Scentsy family as a community, and not just as the people that I work with locally or the people that are on my team or my upline. It was a chance for me to really get to know other Scentsy consultants and get to have them become part of my family as well. Josephine, we'll let you talk next. She's going to talk about Punta Cana. Oh, sure. Go ahead.
Did you scope out California Adventureland yet?
I have not. I've never been to California.
I have. It's almost like Hollywood Studios, and they have the Toy Story game because it was my favorite thing. Like I went around and like I would get off and get right back in line. It was awesome. I love that game. So I'm super excited to see what they do with the next year's convention.
Yeah.
And how they're getting, because it sounds like it's going to be set up real similar.
I think it will be. I think that they're going to have it set up because they said they're going to reserve the park for Scentsy consultants from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. So I think it'll be very similar. And I think we're all going to be dragging feet the next morning at our general session because we're all going to be so tired from Disney World or Disneyland. Sorry. Josephine, if you don't mind, do you mind sharing about Punta Cana?
I will. For those that don't know me, my name is really actually Dawn Jensen. I am a foster mom, so I have to go under an alias, which is Josephine, because I'm a foster mom and I've adopted, so I have to go under, something different so people can't track me out. So again, my name is Dawn. I also went to the Disney, but mine is Punta Cana. I was star consultant when I started with the earning period for Punta Cana, and because of Disney, I knew that I was going on that trip. I mean, there was no question I was going. I mean, it was like if I had to walk up and down the streets and start doing Scentsy, I was there. And that's exactly when I was, my mindset was just that, I was going. Quite different than when I went to Disney, because when I went to Disney, I had just joined in October, the end of October. So I only had, November, December, 3 months to earn Disney. Yes, so I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. I'm going to have the whole 6 months. It was different because, to me, it was harder because I didn't have all the sensational start points that, that people get. So, but it was tough, but it was so much fun. And again, this cruise will be the same. Yes, I did bring a guest. I had to buy in that guest. And with Scentsy, just like, Ivory said, that they are so generous when you buy in. So here we were, I got it and I had to buy into that. I had to do the flights and also I think it was like $1,200 to get him for the week. $1,200 or $1,500 to get for the week. $1,200. Yes. Right. For and it was so worth it. It was just amazing. And again, it was, he got we all got to buy into an excursion. My excursion was, I wanted to go, I am a big chicken. I'll just straight up tell you guys, I am the biggest chicken ever. So for me to go to another country, I mean, I live in Michigan, and everybody's like, well, you go to Canada. Well, that's not a different country to me. I mean, that's like Canada, guys. I mean, so I was like, that's just goofy. But to go to Punta Cana, you know, everybody's telling me, oh my goodness, the drug lords. And everybody and their brother was like negative Nancy's. So me going, I was like, oh geez, you know, I'm going to get kidnapped. Well, all these wonderful excursions, and I pick to go out into Punta Cana, to go out and to their rainforest, and to go meet the people, to eat their food, to mingle with them. And I'm like, I'm gonna die. You know, I had it all set up that I was gonna be like, guys, look for me here. You know what I mean? It was nothing like I had in my mind envisioned. It was the best thing I've ever done. We got onto this big caravan of like trucks, looks like big Jeeps, and they took us out. And the first thing we went to was the coffee where they grow coffee beans and cocoa beans and coffee. And they ground it. We got to learn how to grind it, what it looks like. They had us taste it. They made cocoa for us. They did coffee for us. They drink their coffee much stronger than we do. Like it just curled my hair. It just, woo, I was ready to go. They showed us vanilla bean plants and showed us the difference between what we have as dark vanilla as their light vanilla. It was so educational. It truly was. And then we went to a tobacco field where we learned to roll cigars. And it was actually really funny because a lot of the Scentsy sisters were smokers, and they decided they were going to smoke their cigars. After a few puffs, they decided that probably, and turning green, they decided that probably wasn't the thing for them to do. It was fun. It was just a lot of fun. And then we learned how they crush the sugar cane, how to crush it, and then they all gave us the sugar cane to try without alcohol, and then they poured alcohol in it. It was much better with the alcohol. And another thing is, just like Ivory said, you know, normally Scentsy there's no alcohol. Well, when you go to an all-inclusive like Punta Cana, it was the Hard Rock Cafe, there's like flowing alcohol, you know? So that was really, you know, we knew it going in, but it was, and you know what was really amazing is nobody got belligerent, nobody got crazy. I mean, it was just a lot of fun. I mean, it truly was. If they did drink too much, I never seen it. Maybe I didn't see you, Ivory. Were you the one drinking over in the corner? I'm thinking so. That was her. She couldn't walk. She fell in the pool, but I didn't, you know. No, not just joking. But it was just so much fun. And it just, you know, looking back, you know, the difference I think between the Disney and there is that Disney, it was just such a family ordeal, you know, and there was so many families there. With the Punta Cana, it was just the consultant and her friend, this consultant and her husband. So the atmosphere was completely different. I mean, it's like comparing an apple to an orange, you know, it was just completely different, you know. It was absolutely amazing. And we got to play. I lived in Virginia for a long time, husband Navy. So I love to play in the waves. These waves, on the other hand, they would just knock you over. I don't know how many people lost their glasses. It was so much fun. It really truly was. And then what was another one? I'm looking at my phone here to see what my other questions were from you guys.
I think you about covered it.
No, I haven't done the prom, and I have not done the barefoot on the beach.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm staying on task here. I got my list. They did a barefoot on the beach, and that was absolutely fantastic. It was just a very unbelievable. They were only supposed to do like appetizers. They didn't. They had a full-blown meal right on the water. It was beautiful. I mean, they had like a Jimmy Buffett band that came in and did their stuff.
I have to say something about that. Everybody was convinced that he was the real Jimmy Buffett, including me, and even Orville thought that it was the real Jimmy Buffett, and Heidi had to like tell him like, no, remember, like we booked these people, but this is not the real Jimmy Buffett.
I got to meet the guitar player, or one of the guys was sitting next to me going into Punta Cana. And so he told us he was going to be singing that night. And they were just wonderful people. I mean, they were wonderful. But yeah, and it was so wonderful. That whole time, you know, the barefoot on the beach. And then they had prom the last night. No, second to last night. It was unbelievable. So it was supposed to be tacky prom. So we had a lot of people that did tacky prom, and then they had a lot that did like real prom. And it was such a fun mixture. It was just a fun to see, you know, everybody having fun, you know, and again, in Scentsy spirit, it was over the top.
It was more beautiful than my high school prom, than my wedding, than anything that I could have ever imagined.
It was, wasn't it? And I kept on, and I'm taking pictures, and I am like flipping out. Everything's blue. Finally, somebody sitting next to me is like, well, duh, you're under the water. And they even so much as thought about that. I know. It was like under the sea or something, and I'm like, you know, I did. I was like, oh my gosh, duh. You know, and all the pictures were like in blue. And had I known, I'd have been like making fish faces and like, but I didn't know it until, yeah. So it was just so much fun. And, you know, if there are people on here that haven't, you know, do what you can, guys, and do it like start out hitting it hard, because those Scentsy incentive trips are like, I get all emotional, all teary, all everything, because like Ivory said, and I'm sure Misty might have said it too, is you get to mingle with Heidi and Orville. You get to have a relationship with them. It's not just that they are people that, you know, you see once in a while on somebody else's page or whatever. You know, when I'm here in Boise right now, but when I go there, Heidi and Orville are like, hey, Dawn. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, it's like, oh gosh, hi. You know, it's like starstruck, you know, that number one, they know who I am and that I don't belong in Boise, that I belong in Michigan. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm like, you better get back to Michigan. But I mean, they do. And that's all because of these awesome trips, you know, these awesome trips that you form a relationship. And that's how you get to know so many people, you know, and that's, you get that one-on-one with your other sisters, you know, and it's just, and brothers. Yes, because I've met several of them. And it's so important, you know, and it's just, again, you realize what you're working for, what you work so hard for, and what the reward is at the end. So that's all I got, guys. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. I think that's definitely something that we are going to hit on as far as what you're going to get to take away from it. But I'm going to let Chili share about her experience in Greece. She was one of the top 100 US and Canada consultants. So she got to go on a really fancy trip that not very many people got to go on. So I'll let her share a little bit about Greece.
Can you guys hear me? Okay, so I want to do something, Ivory, don't kill me, but I want to do something really quick. Greece was one of the top 100, and that was amazing, and I'm going to touch on it, but I want to show you something. I've earned 7 of the incentive trips. I guess it could have been possible because I joined in 2009. I could have gone on a trip in 2010, but I didn't start selling Scentsy until I came back after my first convention. And so when we talk about rank as of October 1st and mindset, I want to take you guys back to my first incentive trip, because I think what happens with the leaders that are on this call, the ones that have spoken and even the ones who haven't, once you've earned it, you don't want to ever miss it again. And part of it is, yeah, Bridget's shaking her head. Everybody's shaking their heads, yeah. And I also think that once you've earned it, you know you can. So you're just going to do whatever it takes to earn it. So I came back from convention in August. I'm going to actually share my screen a second. I hope this doesn't mess up. Ivory will have to go back and share yours, okay? Just say yes. Okay, so what I'm pulling up for you guys is, this is my performance, July 2010. This is what my numbers looked like, okay? So I did this because it's the end of July. So this was all of July. So what it looked like August 1st is it would have been 0 sales, but this is what July looked like. I had 6 people, so me and 5 other people, and I wasn't even doing 500. Okay, so I show you this because I came back from convention and decided, okay, look, star consultant. I decided I was going to promote to director and go to every leadership I possibly could, and I was going to earn the incentive trip. And I got to be honest, Disney was not like, oh my God, it's going to be so great, because my kids were too little. And I had never been to Disney World, but I was like, my husband and I are going to go. We're going to go kidless in Disney, and I'm just going to do it because it's a goal and I'm going to do it. So if you look at these numbers, this was going into that first incentive trip I did. So if you've never been on one, if your numbers look like this, you're star consultant or lead consultant, I want you to go. 6 people on my team, and my team wasn't even selling much, and I wasn't selling much. Then I'm going to pull up and show you what November, December, January 2011 looked like. Okay, look, 35 people. I sold 1,500. My group was selling almost 10,000. So we didn't quite make director numbers, I don't think, that month. I guess I did. I don't know how. Anyway, something may be out. Something.
Maybe in December.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what this is. But anyway, it is got my numbers, right? So my active frontline was 14. My team and group was 35. This gives you an idea of what that looks like. So if you do the activity and the things we're talking about tonight, you know, it's not unreasonable to see. I mean, I'm pulling up these reports in Scentsy, okay? And then if I look at Greece, I don't remember the incentive qualifications. What year was Greece? Anyone? Bueller? 2001? 2000? What? 12. August 2012. The August 2012. Probably didn't look very good. Let's see. No, that would have been, I should have done.
2015, wasn't it?
Oh, is it 2015? Okay, hold on. Oops. Okay, 2000, so it should be July 2015.
13, Chili, is when I joined.
Okay.
2013.
Yep.
Okay, August. Sorry, guys. 2013. Oops, I should have done July. Because I actually started selling in August. And we had Grace Adele and Velada. You'll see some of that on, if I do July, at this point, there's a big, strong downline, and they're promoting and they're doing things. And realize every incentive, the point structure is a little bit different. We can get you the structure from every incentive trip that I've got. So from the first Disney all the way up to today, I've got every one of the incentives. And the points are about the same. It's for selling, it's for sponsoring, and it's for helping those new recruits get certified and promoted and everything. So, you know, what was happening here is my team numbers and then my sales. And so it wasn't like, I mean, we were consistently doing the same things you saw back when I was doing Disney. Okay, so now what I want to show you is this is the menu from when I went to dinner at Victoria and Albert at Disney World. And so I had never been to Disney World, and one of the things I wanted to do was take advantage of Disney World by having just me and my husband. So this is my first incentive trip to Disney, and they gave us little prepaid cards with money on it. And the reason it's covered up is because I think it might have had the prices or something for the wine pairings. But this meal, my name was on my menu and my husband's name was on his menu. Victoria and Albert's is one of the finest restaurants around, 5-star. You have 2 waiters at your table and only your table. Our 2 waiters, a man and a woman, they were dressed in Victorian garb, and they were married, actually. So it was really fun. It was a 7 or 8 course meal with a wine pairing at every course. We paid for that, but it was a preset menu that they set up for us. And then at the end, we had this coffee thing that I don't even know how to explain it, but it was like the steam went up and made the coffee, and it was like this crazy, crazy thing. So my point on this is I would take my kids to Disney World after this trip. I did. It was something that I could afford, but I would have never been so frivolous on a meal like this. This meal blew one of my gift cards for the week. So I spent as much as most people spent on all their food for the week for my husband's and my meal. And I say that because that's what I was able to do. I made so much money that fall that it paid for anything else that we needed. We didn't really have to, because the rest of the meals, we went really, really nice. We paired up with another couple and we went to the really nice restaurant, but it wasn't crazy. I mean, that was the only expense we had, and Scentsy had given us money. So for me, these trips are doing things that I would never do. I think you heard that from other people, doing things you'd never do and indulging in a little. And then I want to tell you about Greece real quick, and then we have to get back to our topic. So this is a picture of the restaurant at the hotel in Greece. And that right there, do you see that? Can you guys see my mouse cursor? That's the Parthenon right there. And this is our table. And right over here where you can't see, that's the bar. And so at night we'd go up there and the Parthenon was all lit up and it was absolutely amazing. And I have to show you this picture. I think it's this one. So that's me and Orville. We're hanging out at the airport because after we finished in Athens, we jumped on a plane to go to one of the islands. I can't think of it right now. Anyway, Orville and I were hanging out because pretty much we took over one of the little airplanes. It wasn't a private jet, it was a regular airliner, but we took over all of them because it was like a little, puddle jumper, like from Houston to Dallas, a 30-minute flight to go to one of the islands. And this picture was taken after Orville and I had been sitting down talking for about 30 or 45 minutes, just about what he was thinking, what he was reading. It was just a really relaxed conversation. Because at this trip, with only 100 consultants, we got to know each other very, very, very well. And one of the things I love about Scentsy is getting to know the executives that run our company and see how much they care about us. And so this was just something on that trip. If you guys care to, I have all of my pictures, all my room drops and everything. I use all my pictures. I have a photo album for each incentive trip on my Facebook business page. And you're more than welcome to look at that. And as you start taking these trips, if you earn them, or even if you just take a few, then you can go in and see every one of the events I've done and every one of my incentive trips. I have a picture for World Tour, when we went to Hawaii, Director Boot Camp, all those different things. I have a picture for. So a really good thing to do. And I'm going to go back and I think I'm going to stop share and I'm going to keep talking while Ivory, you take over and start sharing the screen again. So I think I covered, I just want to tell you though, with Greece, so it was a shot to me to earn. I had set out to go to Atlantis. The summer before that, my family takes a cruise every year and we were in the Bahamas. My sister went to the water park in Atlantis. And I said that I was not going to go to the water park because I was going to be in Atlanta the next year. And somebody's not muted. Can somebody that's not, oh, there, I think I found. Okay. So I said, I took a picture of the Atlantis hotels and I said, okay, we'll be there next year. So I was convinced I was going to Atlantis. And I remember one of my Scentsy friends was like, you can do it, Chili. I think you're not that far away. They haven't told us, who top 100 is. We don't know. You just had to work as hard as you could. And so, I had put the effort in because I knew I was going to Atlantis. So I think it was like December, and I was like, I'm going to blow out December and January. I was going to take it easy because I had kind of already earned Atlantis for 2. But when she said that, it encouraged me, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it all I've got because we don't know what the top 100 looks like. We don't know what the point structure is. You don't know how, if you're going to earn it or not. And that's the thing that's challenging with some of the trips, is when you didn't know top 100. Greece was top 100 of the US and Canada. Africa was top 100 of the entire company. So this was globally top 100. So this Africa trip was really something special for the girls that earned that. Okay, Ivory, I'm done. Yours.
Thank you, Chili. I would have loved to have gone on that trip to Greece. Like, that looks so beautiful. Well, now that we've talked a little bit about and shared some of the experiences that everybody's had, I hope that kind of gets your juices flowing and gets you dreaming a little bit, because I definitely think this cruise is going to be something that no one will ever forget that gets to earn this trip, because it's not only is it a Mediterranean cruise and you're going to all of these stops, but it's like the maiden voyage, I believe is what Orville said at reunion. It's the third. Okay. I thought he had said in the thing that it was a maiden voyage, but it's a brand new cruise liner, and it's one of the maiden voyages, because the cruise line will reside in Miami. So they're doing a couple of runs through the Mediterranean. Gotcha.
These are exclusive ones. They're doing it long. So it's part of one of the maiden voyages.
Got you. So we're not in any Titanic situations here. I know a few people may have been a little bit concerned about that, myself included. So it's the biggest cruise ship that they've come out with to date. And that's what's kind of a big deal about this ship, is it's not just going to be an ordinary cruise liner. It's not just going to be an ordinary Mediterranean cruise. Of course not. Scentsy has to go all out, and we have to get the biggest ship and the funnest ship possible. So I think that this is definitely going to be something that you won't forget. And I want to make sure that, you know, sharing some past experiences definitely tends to motivate people and inspire them. Like, well, if they can do it, I can do it. So let's talk about how you can do it. Let's see. Is it going to let me? There we go. So what can you expect whenever you're on these trips, and why do you want to go? First of all, if you've ever planned a family vacation or even a vacation just for yourself, there's a lot of legwork that goes into it. You have to price your flights, and you can't just go off of the first price you find. You've got to price around at different airlines. And by the time you get back to the cheapest flight, that flight's already gone up in price, and now it's not the cheapest anymore. And then you just keep going in circles looking around, and then you're trying to book the hotels, and you don't know which hotel you want to go with, because this one's closer to this venue and this one's closer to that venue, and how are you going to get to and from? And you got to book a rental car and make arrangements, and all of that stuff is taken care of with Scentsy. They take care of all of the plans for you. Now, you can choose whether or not you want to take their flight or their airfare. Like I chose when I went to Disney and also to Punta Cana, I chose not to take Scentsy's flight. I chose to let them give me the reimbursement for my flight, because I get frequent flyer miles and I can fly for free. And so I would rather take the cash from Scentsy as kind of a bonus and spending money, rather than paying for a flight that I could already get for free. So that's up to you. You just have to call into customer service and they'll take care of those arrangements for you. But the hotels are already paid, or if it's a cruise ship, everything is already planned out for you. They send you a kit in the mail, and it tells you where to be, what time your flight is. It tells you how you're going to get from the airport to your destination. They take care of the shuttle for you, so you don't have to worry about making sure that you have flight or arrangements or not. And if they don't take care of the shuttle for you, they tell you where to find the shuttle so that you can get a pass to get on the shuttle, or you can pay in advance, or you can pay when you get there. We already mentioned it earlier. Another reason why you're going to want to go on this cruise is because you're going to be treated like a queen or a king if you bring your spouse along with you, or if you're a Scentsy mister and not a Scentsy sister. There's world-class destinations. We already talked about a lot of those. The accommodations are amazing. And I like now that Scentsy is doing different levels for their incentive trips so that it's attainable for people at all ranks and all levels. So you have people who may earn just convention, and then you have people who might just get to go on the cruise, but they're going to have to pay for their flight, and then you get everything paid for, and then you get everything paid for and a guest. So the accommodations come with that, and they always take care of whatever their special evening is, or there's exclusive night is, that's always taken care of for you. So your cruise ship is top of the line, or your hotel is top of the line. Wherever you're staying, Scentsy's going to make sure that you have the best accommodations. You're not staying in some Super 8 motel outside of Disney World. You're staying in the fanciest resort at Disney World. You're not on some little cruise ship. You're on the biggest, best cruise ship that you can be on. When you get to your destination, there's always a really big welcoming reception. So that doesn't mean like there's a big crowd, like, surprise, we're here. It's a buffet of tables with foods, usually desserts, some drinks, not cocktails, because we already said Scentsy doesn't provide alcohol for us. If you want it, you have to get it on your own, unless it's at an all-inclusive resort. But they do have a welcome reception for you, and there's home offices all over the place, and they're there to congratulate you and tell you, congratulations, you made it, we're so proud of you. And that makes you feel really good to know that home office is there telling you congratulations, like, these people know who I am, like she was saying earlier, like, oh wow, okay. And it just, that pat on the back feels really good, and it's a nice feeling. Instead of, you get there and they take care of your luggage for you, you don't have to worry about it. And all of the incentive trips that I've been on, Scentsy has taken care of all of the tips, and so you don't have to, unless you choose to pay additional tip. But all of the tips for your baggage claim and all of that should already be taken care of for you. We've already said that there's lots of room drops. When you get to your welcome reception, you get a kit, and it gives you your itinerary if there's anything special going on the week that you're there, and they give you the information about the resort and where you can find different things. But there's always gifts inside of your welcome kit. So I know at Disney World, we got the new bag that they're selling on the Scentsy Family Store. I just switched purses out, actually. Oh, Bridget has it. But it has tons of zipper pockets. It was like the best thing ever, because you're at Disney World and you don't want to carry a bunch of stuff, but you need pockets for everything. And so there was pockets for everything in these little purses, which did kind of make it difficult, because if you set your purse down, you're like, wait, is that my purse? I don't know. There's like 10,000 other people here that have the same purse. I'm not going to dig through somebody's purse to make sure this is mine. But anyway, it was pretty fun. The purse was pretty awesome, and I still used it, and I've been using it since Disney. Like I said, I just switched out the purse, and I have 0 tears, 0 rips. It's still perfectly intact. So you get wonderful gifts. When we got to Punta Cana this year, we had, oh goodness, my kids have been playing with it. It's like one of these, it's supposed to be like a beach towel, but it's made out of like the lightweight sail material. And so you can lay on the beach with it, and you just put a little sand on the corners, and it's soft, and you just brush it right off whenever you leave, so the sand doesn't stick to it. There was a nice little fan that you put water in. You could spray your face when it was hot. There's sunscreen, little things like that. They take care of you. They make sure they give you something when you get there. Then you also have your room drops. I know at Disney World, we all got a little music thing. My son's been walking around the house playing it, and it plays, it's like a little music box, and it plays it's in that box right there. And it plays the Small World theme. It's a small world after all. Please don't judge my singing. But we also got the globe, which I have in my classroom, and my kids ask me all the time, what's that globe for? And I get to talk about Scentsy, because they know how crazy I am. Every Monday they come into my classroom and, what are you warming today, Miss Gilcher? So yes, there's the globe. Thank you, Bridget. So there's always special gifts. We got a hand-painted picture in Punta Cana this year that she's about to show you. She is prepared. We got this hand-painted picture. Mine looks a little bit different than hers. Mine has like the orange and reds from the sunset, but it was hand-painted. So Scentsy put money into this local artist who got to paint all of these for the Scentsy consultants. So they just gave this person probably the most incredible job opportunity that they've ever had. This artist who's probably used to making next to nothing is now getting to do this amazing job opportunity for Scentsy and make all of these paintings. And then we also got this special gift. So it's like a win-win. We also have...
Hey, can I say something really quick?
Yeah.
I was going to say that on some of the trips, some of the things we've done is instead of excursions or in lieu of an excursion or in addition, we do service projects where Scentsy goes out and sets up something for us to do with the community.
Oh, that's awesome.
When you're looking at like Costa Rica or places we've gone, it's a give back. So, I mean, I've been on lots of trips and I've been on things where people take care of you, but there's nothing like this anyplace else. And one other thing I want to say, and Ivory, I don't know if this is the slide, you can reiterate it later if it's a better place because I forgot, but with this, it's not like this is top 100. The cruise ship, they know how many people will probably earn it based on activity. So it's not like once we hit 1,000 people, nobody else gets to go. Anyone who earns it gets it. And based on statistics, they know, what to plan for.
I believe
But
Oracle
Punta Cana,
said in the director meeting or the leadership meeting at Reunion that this is going to be the biggest incentive trip that they've ever done, and the most people will ever earn, most people that they've ever had will earn this trip according to their projections.
and it's the most expensive trip.
Yes,
they've done.
that too. Yes. So like Chili was saying, there are excursions. If you earn for that level, if you earn all inclusive, then you get a free excursion, or like I did not earn the excursion. So I just paid when I got there for the excursion. Now, when I was in Punta Cana this time around, we did our excursion, but my friend and I, we wanted to rent a bed by the beach. And so we went down to the little concierge and we asked to rent a bed by the beach. And they're like, oh, that's going to be $200 for the day. And we looked at each other, we're like, no, that's okay. We don't need a bed that bad. We can just lay on one of your lawn chairs. And she goes, oh, wait, you're with Scentsy, right? And we said, yes. And she said, I can give that to you for half off. And so we looked at each other like, well, you pay 50, I pay 50. That's not so bad. We got a whole bottle of wine, one-on-one wait staff at the bed for the entire day. They brought us meals. They brought us drinks anytime we needed drink refills. So like we were pampered for $50 each, like the entire day from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We were there at the beach the entire day, and $50. It wasn't that bad. And so Scentsy has that benefit of getting extra discounts. You just have to name drop. There are private tours sometimes that Scentsy will do. There's private dinners like our prom that we had at Punta Cana. We had at Disney World this last time, we had an around the world buffet, which I don't think I've been fancy enough to ever have an 8-course meal, Chili. I don't even think I'm fancy enough to have a 6-course meal, but I think that night we had like a 6-course meal at the around the world buffet or dinner that they did for us at Disney World. And it was themed based on all of the different countries around the world. And it was really neat because I was like, I don't know what this is. I'm scared to try it. I don't want to eat it, but I ate it and I was like, this is pretty good. I like this. I would have never known that I liked Australian food because I've never been to Australia. But, oops, let me go back. One of the things that I wanted to mention is that all of these things are fun things to do with Scentsy, but you don't have to do them. If you choose to be in your room and just relax and read a book the entire time because you just want to be away from the world for a little while, you can do that. There are no meetings that you have to go to. There are no trainings that you have to go to unless you choose to take Reunion. This is all for fun. This is all rewards. It's all about fun and not working and just enjoying your time. So however you choose to spend your time, whether that's socializing, whether that's exploring, whether that's taking part in excursions and activities, that's up to you. If you choose not to go to prom because you had too much to drink the night before, well, hey, I have not me, but one of my friends did that. It's, one of those things, you don't have to be anywhere or do anything unless you choose to. Another benefit or reason why you're going to want to go is because you're going to make memories that last a lifetime. Things you will not ever forget. You will not ever be able to experience outside of going on these trips. You're going to remember them forever, and you're going to make friends and build Scentsy relationships. I'm from Texas. I have lived in a few other states, but I'm not a northerner by any means. And I got to know a girl from Canada in Punta Cana that she and I met up again at Reunion, and we got to hang out at Reunion. And I would consider her one of my good friends now. And I haven't even known her that long, but I would have never had a friend in Canada if I hadn't gone to Punta Cana and met up with this girl. And the chances of us, meeting up at reunion, there's way more people there than there are at these trips. Chili and I got to know each other at Disney World. So, I mean, you're just going to make tons of Scentsy friendships. And if you're looking, you may even get a Scentsy baby if you take your spouse, because that seems to be a trend. People coming back with their little souvenirs. So forewarned on that. You'll have such a good time that you'll be carefree. Another benefit, and this was huge for me when I first joined Scentsy, because I felt like I didn't have a testimony. I didn't have a recruiting or a marketing stance. I wanted to earn a trip so that I could brag about it to my friends. And so I could say, oh my God, Scentsy, I got to go. They took me to this place and Scentsy took me to that place. And I felt like if I didn't have that, then I didn't have clout with my friends at all. I didn't have anything that they would be interested in. Like, oh yeah, okay, you make some extra money. Like I could do that working at the gas station down the street. But if I say, oh my God, Scentsy took me to this place and I all I had to do was just work and I just got rewarded for it. Like my school principal, they don't do that. The school district doesn't do that for me. And I work even harder for them. So, I mean, it's one of those things, it gives you marketing, testimony. It gives you marketing and recruiting, conversations with people. Some of the perks of getting to earn the incentive trip is you get it, even if you are setting your sights to earn this, these are the things that you're going to get even if you don't earn this trip, right? So even if you bust, every possible stop that you can think of and you try everything and you've given it your all and you still fall short, you're still going to gain from working towards this incentive. And that's Scentsy's goal with this, is they just want to see us work our business. So you're going to get business growth, which means more money in your pocket, right? So if you're working your business to try to earn this incentive, you're going to have growth within your business and within your team, and you're going to have more money in your pocket from that. Even if you don't earn the incentive, you have more money than what you had before you tried to work for this incentive. Pride is something that brings out the emotions in people. When I think about being a mom and I think about my son playing baseball, when I think about him hitting a home run, the feeling that I get of pride as his mom, like I'm so proud of him. He's not naturally athletic. He has to work for his talent in the sport of baseball. So for him to hit a home run, I know that that's something that he has worked so hard at, that has been an obstacle and a challenge for him. And when he slams that ball and it goes over the fence, I have tears in my eyes and I'm so proud of him because he worked for that and he finally did it. It's the same thing when you're working this incentive for yourself. The feeling of pride that you're going to get within yourself of self-accomplishment and pride that you have done something, you have set a goal and you have done something and you have reached that goal. The moment you get that email from Scentsy saying, congratulations, you have earned the Scentsy Incentive Trip 2018, you're going to get chills across your body. You're going to want to jump up and down. You're going to want to scream and you're going to want to go show everybody that email. You're going to screenshot it on your phone and you're just going to want to shout it from the rooftop because you did it. You set a goal and you did it. It's bragging rights to your friends. It's bragging rights to your spouse. It's bragging rights to your kids. The moment I told my son that we earned Disney, I could see him proud of me. He was proud of me. My spouse was proud of me. He was like, wow, you actually did it. Like, that's awesome. That's really awesome. That's great. That's something else. I'm really proud of you. And to hear those words, not just I'm proud of myself, but hear somebody else tell you that they're proud of you, whether it's your director, your upline, your kids, your spouse, your friend, your neighbor, whoever it is, if they're like, wow, I'm really proud of you. You really worked for that. Like, it feels so good to accomplish something like that and to set that goal that is going to be a challenge, but you just push through it and you work towards it and you get there and it's amazing. You're going to gain new friendships because you're making new customers, you're making new Scentsy contacts, you're meeting new hosts. You are going to benefit by expanding your circle because you're growing your business. So there's so much to gain just to work it and just to try for it. Even if you don't make it, you're gonna gain from working towards this incentive trip. What does it really take to earn the incentive trip? First, you have to dream it. You have to open your mind to the possibility that you can do this. You are capable of doing this. Dedication. Set your goal and make your plan. If you do not have a goal, then you have nothing to guide you to reach your destination. Determination. It's going to be hard, and there are going to be moments when you think, I can't do this. But that doesn't mean you give up. That means you go to sleep that night and you wake up the next day and you tell yourself, you look at yourself in the mirror and you say, I am going to do this. And everything, those doubts that are in my head that say I can't do this, I look in the mirror and I say, that's a lie, because I can do this. And even me, I've earned 2 of the trips, and I'm pretty sure the other ladies, Karen, Chili, you guys have, or Misty and Chili, you guys have earned several of these trips. And I'm pretty sure that you can tell me probably at least once through all of those incentive earning trips, you probably had self-doubt where you're like, oh my God, this is going to be so hard. I just don't think I can do it. But if you listen to those doubts and you quit and you stop trying, you will never make it. But if you don't stop and you tell yourself that those voices or those doubts that are in your head are just lies, and you keep going and you're determined, then you will make it, and you keep pushing. If you give up, you can never make it. But if you keep going and you keep pushing, you have a chance. So don't listen to those voices in your head. Diligence. Stick to the plan. Keep on keeping on every day. Do an activity for your business, whether it's 10 minutes that you put into your business every day, an hour, 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever you can do for your business every day, do an activity, something for your business every single day. An ACENT Academy. Let me show you really quick ACENT Academy. Those of you that may not know what ACENT Academy is, it's going to be silly for me right now. So ACENT Academy is up here. When you go to your resource or your workstation, you go over here to challenges. This is where you can find ACENT Academy. Oh, my internet's going to be slow, isn't it? It's not working. Oh, it is. It's loading. There we go. Okay, so we have ACENT Academy, and this is what it looks like when you go to your challenge page. There is a daily activity. So it's going to tell you, if you don't know what ACENT Academy is, it's a leveled program that is designed to suit you and your needs where you're at within the company. If you are just starting out, each of your daily activities are going to be things to help you grow your business and start your business. Once you hit director, it's going to be challenges to help you grow your team and lead your team and also still grow your business. So if you click on whatever the day is, today is Tuesday, I can click on this box and it tells me what I can do. Hey, look, training for my team. Yes, I can check that one off the list, right? So it gives you a different challenge, a different way to work your business every single day. And these are all things that have been brought up and studied and based on previous trends. Scentsy has said, these are the things that you can do to grow your business. It's not just some, hey, here's a random idea. They are designed to guide you to the next level of the phase of ACENT Academy. And if you didn't know, if you complete an ACENT Academy level and you go to the next level, you earn extra points for your incentive period. So if you complete it during an incentive period, like over here, my program requirements, if I get this box checked right here during the incentive period over the next 6 months, I will earn an extra 10% on my bonus points for the incentive period. So that's just an extra encouraging thing. So this is for me. Yours may look different depending on where you're at within the company. Go back to our slides. You also need to have drive. You have to be unstoppable. You can't let anything stop you. You can't let the excuses come and say, oh my gosh, I had baseball every night of the week and I just couldn't get anything done with my business. You have to find a way. You have to make it work. You can't let anything stop you. You can't let anything drag you down. You have to tell yourself that if you want this, you have to shoot for the stars. But even if you miss, or shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you'll land among the stars. And I think Orville says that quite a bit. So that is one thing that you want to go off of. So for this incentive, Chili, I can't hear you. Hold on, let me unmute you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so all I was going to say from that last slide about the drive, I know that there are some of us, because I've talked to some people, no names mentioned, but that sometimes we tell ourselves we don't want it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
We get through it, and we say, you know what, I don't really like cruises, or, I'll go another time, or something like that.
Yes, don't talk yourself out of it, because you want a free trip. Who doesn't want a free trip? Come on, everybody wants a free trip. Or at least extra cash to go on a free trip. I mean, even if you don't want to go to Punta Cana because you're scared you're going to get kidnapped and you're going to get robbed or you're going to die because of the rumors that you've been told, like, you could still take the extra cash or the bonus instead of going on the trip, or you can choose reunion instead. So there's no excuse. There's other options. So yeah, you can definitely talk yourself out of it, but don't let that happen. So earning points for what you already do. So I want you guys, if you have a second, really quickly, I'm going to quickly show you how easy this incentive trip is to earn. Grab a piece of paper and a pen if you have one, and I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I'm just going to show you an example of how easy this should be for earning this incentive trip, just level 1, for doing what you're already doing in your business right now. So if you're working your business and you have goals in mind, this should be very easy for you to at least earn level 1. So if you've got a pen and a piece of paper, grab that really quickly, because I just want you to jot down a few numbers. So first I'm going to ask you some questions, and then I'm going to show you an example, okay? So the first question I'm going to ask you is, what is your average PRV over the last 12 months? You do not have to look it up right now. If you had to give yourself an estimate, what would you say is your average PRV every month? Whatever that number is, whether it's $1,000 a month, $500 a month, $2,000 a month, whatever you think you typically average, if you averaged it out over the last 12 months, I want you to write that number down and then multiply it times, say if your average is $1,000 a month, multiply it times 6. So whatever your average PRV is per month, multiply that times 6. And I will say this, if you are a leader, you should at least have $500 PRV every single month. And if you're not a leader and you're going to want to have at least $500 every single month as your goal, I'm not saying to overshoot your goal and say, well, normally I average about $1,000 a month, but for this incentive period, I'm going to go for 2,000. That's great if you want to shoot high, but this activity that I'm doing with you is just showing you basically what you're already doing. So I don't want you to overshoot the number. I want you to give the average of what you actually do without having to put any extra work into it. So what is your average PRV, and then multiply that times 6. The next question I have for you, and again, you can go back and look at this to get a real number if you want to off your workstation later, but how many essential consultants do you have on your team? Do you have 2 essential consultants? Do you have 3 essential consultants? Consultants that have not yet hit that $1,000 certified mark. And then I want you to multiply that times 1,000. So if you have 2 essential consultants, multiply it times 1,000. If you have 3 essential consultants, multiply it times 1,000. Because you're going to want to try to get them to that certified point over the next 6 months. I mean, if they're essential and they're going to be active over the next 6 months, they're going to have to be certified by the time the 6-month period is up. Hopefully. Okay. The next question is, how many have you personally sponsored in the last 12 months? If you had to average it out, about how many recruits do you get each month? Do you get 1 recruit a month, 2 recruits a month? About how many recruits do you think you've added to your team personally, just you, under yourself, in the last 12 months? And I want you to divide that by 2. So if you've sponsored 4 people in the last year, divide that in half. So we'll say 2 recruits. Or if you've sponsored 6 people, divide it in half and say 3. Because we're going to say this is for 6 months because that's our earning period. And we're going to try to make sure that we get them to 1,000. So say you sponsored 6 people in the last year and you're going to divide that in half. So that would be 3. Now multiply that number times 1,000 because you're going to want to get them to certified. And they only count for you if they get to certified. So this is stuff this is what you're already doing for your business. You already recruit this many people on a normal basis without really having to work any harder, right? Okay, the next question is, are you paid at your title? If so, what is your title? So when I go over here to my workstation and I click on the incentive, I can see, nope, I don't want to watch that. And I don't want the tracker. Where is it? Okay, so when I go to the points, I can see, if you guys are looking at the screen right now, if you are paid at your title each month, say you're a lead consultant and you're paid at lead consultant consistently every single month, give yourself 300 points for 6 months. So 300 times 6. If you're a star consultant, this is without any promotions at all, without having to work any different than what you're already doing. So multiply whatever your rank is times 6, because we want you to be paid at title every month. And I want you to stop where you're at, and I want you to go ahead and add up everything that you have. I want you to add up how many points you have. Before we even get into any promotions or sensational starts or anything else, is there anybody that has 10,000 points? If so, unmute yourself and say me.
Me. I know Chili does too. Ivory, you didn't say me either.
Oh, well, me. I was waiting to listen for you guys. Is there anybody else that's added it up and has 10,000? At least 10,000? You can have more than that, just at least 10,000. Okay?
Me.
Me.
All right, so you guys are looking at that. This is showing you are already at 10,000 points without having to do anything different for your business, without having to promote, without having to push for recruits, without having to push your PRV, without having to push anything else. Now, I want you to add 2,500 points for getting $500 or more PRV every month. So whatever your number is, add 2,500 to it. Then you're also going to get paid at title 5 out of 6 months because we just gave you those points. So add another 2,500 points to that. So you're basically adding 5,000 points to whatever number you just got. Now, let me ask this again. Is there anybody that has 15,000 points or more? Say me.
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 You guys, congratulations. You just earned Scentsy's 2018 incentive trip level 1. You don't even have to do anything different for your business. Nothing. How does that feel, knowing that you don't have to do anything different than what you're already doing right now? Because I know last year I got points for promoting to director, and going into this incentive period, I was scared because I was like, I'm not going to be able to get promotion points. Like, I'm not going to promote to star director. I know we're ready for that. What am I going to do if I can't get those promotion points? How am I going to do this? I'm going to have to sell, and sell some more. And I'm going to have to recruit some more. That's a tongue twister. Don't ever try to say that 10 times fast. So you can understand my hesitation. I'm like, if I can't promote, I can't earn this. That was my thought going into this. And then I started asking myself these questions. I'm like, you know what? I don't even have to promote and I can earn level 1. I don't even have to recruit any different and I can earn level 1. Okay, so now we're not done with points yet, guys. If you have a promotion in mind, if you are a lead consultant and you're wanting to promote to star, if you are a lead consultant promote to star, if you are a star consultant and you want to promote to superstar, let me pull back up the points. Okay. Your promotion points. If you have a promotion in mind, now mind you, if you are adding to your team and you're hitting your numbers for your PRV every single month, then you should be promoting if you're adding to your team and your team is doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? And you're working on getting them where they're supposed to be going. So you should be promoting. So look at this chart right here, and I want you, whatever your goal is, the number next to your goal, I want you to add that. If you feasibly think that you are going to be able to get a promotion this incentive period, I want you to write that number down. So if you're going to promote from certified to essential to certified, give yourself 1,000 points. If you're going to promote from certified to lead, give yourself 1,500. Of course, if you're recruiting, you should at least promote to lead, right? If you're a lead and you want to go to star, give yourself 2,000. If you think you're going to jump 2 steps, give yourself points for both of those promotions. Whatever you think your goal is, give yourself promotion points. Excuse me, I need to take a drink. Okay. Everybody got that? Okay, the next thing is, the next question is, what is your sensational start record? I have a really good record, not to brag, but I have a really good record getting my recruits to sensational start level 3. I had probably 10 people last year, maybe more, that I recruited, and 3 of them got sensational start level 3, 1 got sensational start level 2, another got, I think 2 more got sensational start level 1. So whatever your track record is, give yourself, remember, this is just showing how little you have to work, not how hard you have to push yourself. So if you think, oh, I could probably get my recruits to sensational start level 1, whatever you put for your number of recruits up above earlier, give yourself, if you think you can get those recruits to sensational start level 1, give yourself 1,000 points for each of those recruits. If you think that you can get those recruits to sensational start level 2, or maybe 1 of them to level 2 and 2 of them to level 1, or however many you have, give yourself, for sensational start level 1, give them 1,000 points. For sensational start level 2, give them 2,000. For sensational start level 3, give them 3,000. And so you want to make sure that you give yourself a reasonable goal. Don't overshoot it this time. So if you're going to recruit 3 people in 6 months, do you really think all 3 of those are going to hit sensational start? If so, give yourself whatever points for that. Let me go back over here to the news tab and I'll show you the points. There we go. Okay, so you're personally sponsoring, sorry, it's 500 for level 1, 1,000 for level 2, 2,000 for level 3. I'm sorry, I had that wrong. Okay, and then the next question on after that is, if you went to reunion, give yourself 2,000 points. If you went to reunion, give yourself 2,000 points. Okay, go ahead and add up all of your numbers. Add up your PRV, your essential consultants, all of the numbers that we had earlier. Add up your promotion points, your sensational start points, and your reunion points if you went to reunion. If you did that, does anybody have 15,000 or more now? Say me.
Me. Me.
Me.
Okay, is there anybody that has, you've earned level 1. Is there anybody that has 20,000 or more? Say me. Sorry,
Me.
15,000 or more. Say me. 15,
Me.
then 20. Yeah.
Me.
Okay, is there anybody that has 25 or more?
Me.
Wow, we
Me.
have some people that don't even have to really push very hard and they've already earned level 3. Is there anybody that has 30,000?
Me.
Good. So we have people that have level 4, people that have level 3, people that have level 2 and level 1 already based off of just working what you're already doing to your business. Now, let me show you an example of what this might look like for a lead consultant. Okay, so this is a chart that I came up with. So here's your rank if you were a lead consultant: August, September, October, November, December, January, and your total column all the way on the far right. Okay, so you have, let's say, an average goal of $1,000 per month. That's 6,000 points in PRV over a 6-month period. Okay, maybe they have 2 essential consultants on their team. They're just starting out. They haven't hit certified yet. So we're gonna help get them to certified. So, oops. So we are going to make sure that we get them to certified. So say we get 1 certified in September, 1 certified in November. That's an extra 2,000 points. Okay. Now we're going to get new recruits throughout this process. So say I get 1 new recruit who hits $1,000 and gets certified in August, and 2 new recruits who hit certified in September. And now that's 3,000 extra points, right? So for Sensational Start, I'm going to make sure that they hit level 1, and that's going to be 500 points for my first recruit. And then in the next month, we're going to make sure these 2 hit Sensational Start level 1 also. And so these 2 recruits right here are going to hit level 1. So that's going to be another 1,000 points. So that's 1,500 points added on over 6 months. Okay, because I hit over 500 PRV every single month, I'm going to get a $2,500 bonus, or 2,500 point bonus. Okay, and then I'm going to be paid at my title, which is lead consultant. Why does it keep going back? Okay, my mouse is messing up. Okay, so I have paid at title, 300 points. And then by the time I've added these new recruits up here, I'm going to promote to star consultant. So I'm going to give myself 400 points in October and November. Say I have a bad month in December, I don't get paid at title that month. And then in January, I get paid at title again. So I'm going to give myself my paid at title points. And because I got paid at my title for 5 out of the 6 months, I get 2,500 bonus points. And because I promoted in October to star consultant, I get 2,000 points. And then we'll say that I went to reunion, so I get 2,000 points for that. Just based off of this, I'm looking at 23,300. I'm looking at 23,300. That's level 2, almost level 3. That's almost the cruise paid for completely. Okay, so, and that's if I pushed a little bit harder to get a couple more recruits in the last few months, or if I had pushed a little harder on my new recruits and helped them a little bit more, maybe I could have got them to Sensational Start level 2 or level 3. Or if I had pushed a little bit harder in the month of December, I could have gotten another 400 points right here. So I don't want you guys to get to the end of the month and see that, or not the end of the month, the end of the earning period, and see that you're stuck and you're like, oh God, if I had just pushed a little bit harder in December, if I'd pushed just a little bit harder in the beginning of the incentive period, then I could have had it. I don't want you to slack off in the beginning thinking that, oh, I'm going to have it. I want you to make sure that you have a plan and you plan something out like this. And there is a tracker on your workstation. If you just go look up the Scentsy Incentive Trip Tracker, this is what it looks like. I believe Meredith used this when she was doing hers. So they gave this to us at reunion. So you can print this out and you can use that as your tracker. This is pretty much the same thing as what that was. Okay. The one thing I want to remind you guys before we finish up here is that Chili gave me this quote earlier. It's not the things I did in life that I regret. It's the things that I didn't do. So don't get to the end of the incentive period and kick yourself because you didn't do what you had set out to do and you didn't do what you had planned to do. For me, I have moments where I'm like, I don't know if I can earn this Mediterranean cruise, and I don't know if I have the energy to put in all this work to earn this cruise. But then I think about Italy, and I think about how that has been my #1 destination on my bucket list since I was a child, who I never would have ever had opportunity that have gone overseas and done anything like this or go to another country. And Italy has always been the #1 place for me. And I keep thinking to myself, if I get to January and I don't get that email, I'm going to hate myself. I'm going to hate myself because I know that I would have not ever been able to give myself that opportunity. So I don't want you to hate yourself because you didn't try hard enough and you didn't plan it out and you didn't have it out right. Now, if you guys want to set up a meeting with your, go back. You want to set up a meeting with your sponsor or with your director, you can contact them about setting up a private planning so that you can see the numbers more directly for yourself. If you aren't recruiting, then that may be a wake-up call for you. If you think that maybe just recruiting one person during the incentive period is enough, that's not going to be a realistic goal for somebody that's wanting to earn level 3 or level 4 for this incentive period. So you might have to set your goals a little bit higher. Now, this is just a quick way to show you, like, okay, I didn't get it with the sample or the model I showed you. Oh, going the wrong way over here. With the model that I showed you, this is just showing you I got 23,300. Well, where could I make up that extra 1,200 points or 1,700 points from to get to 25,000? So where could I make up those points? Well, I could sell a little more PRV, or I could recruit a few more people, or maybe I need to push a little harder in December. So this is to show you so that you can see where you can make up those points from. Okay. Misty just messaged me.
Back.
What, Chili?
That was
That
a while
message.
back.
Oh, I just got it.
No, I sent her another message making her a deal. If she made the incentive trip, I would take her to some yummy places in Rome.
Ah, yes, the places that I will not be afraid to eat.
Oh,
I went to Mediterranean cruise for my honeymoon, but we didn't hit all the spots.
So she wants to go too. She doesn't want to be left out.
so you want to go on the yummy, on the food tour?
Does anybody have any questions before we close up?
Sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead, Chili.
Yeah, we had a couple questions. The first one I'll answer real quick. It says, if you complete the Ascent Academy, when will you get a new one? So the idea is that there is a calendar in your Ascent Academy, and it just suggests activities. If you don't like that, look at one the day before that maybe you didn't do. Just pick out 5 of them a week out of 7 days. And so each month a new calendar comes up, and you can then, I think Ivory's going to pick it up, but then you can
I'm waiting on my internet to load.
Yeah, well, I had to move to my phone because I cut out so bad.
We're going through, I don't know where everybody's at, but we're having some terrible storms over here. So the internet's been really slow. Okay. So on your calendar, like mine says my program level is expired because they give you so many days to complete your ASIN Academy. And it's a goal. It's a goal for you to work towards. And if you don't hit it, that's okay. You don't get, I think if I had completed it within the time, I got free registration to boot camp. So I didn't complete it. So I won't get free registration to boot camp, but I still get the 10% points for this level. And then it's not 10% for every level. Some levels are 5%, some levels are 15. So it just depends on what level you're at. You'll have to call somebody at customer support because I have a very hard time searching for that document in the, I think it may be in the consultant guide, frequently asked questions or something, or ASIN Academy frequently asked questions. But anyway, they give you a time frame to complete. And if you do it within that time frame, then they move you up to the next level, which happens every Sunday night. They start a new week every Sunday night. And they keep trackers for you too. If you're not enrolled in Ascent Academy, all you have to do is go to your home, or no, go to account. And then you go, scroll down, isn't it? No. It's somewhere over here. Where is it?
It's in
We'll get back to
team.
you.
It's in
what?
team.
Oh, is it
Team.
in team? Thank you. There we go. ASIN Academy participation. So you go over here and I can see all of the people that are in ASIN Academy that are on my team. And then No, but where do you go to enroll? I'm pretty sure it was in account. We'll get that information to y'all in a little while. I thought
You
it
have to
was
accept the email that they send you.
Yeah,
And if you don't
gotcha.
get another one, they'll send you another one.
If you're new, they send you one with your enrollment. But
no, if you're new, you're automatically enrolled.
right. And then if you are unsure if you're in ASIN Academy, and you need to contact your director and they can get with you about that. So that's where you find ASIN Academy at. And then are there any other questions, Chili?
Yeah, I think it's been answered, but I do want to bring it up. Have a consultant that was on my team prior to incentive period, but they're not yet certified. When they hit the 1,000, do I get the point?
Yes. It's my understanding that yes, as long as you are, if they were not certified prior to August 1st, after August 1st, if they certify, they count for your $1,000 for your personally certified recruits.
Okay. Any other
Any more?
questions? Hold on, there may be more.
I can't see the questions. I don't know where you're finding those at.
Okay, Katrina Braxton is asking some of these questions. I don't know who your sponsor or director is. If get with them, because I think that we need to make sure that you've got the. I think we just need to look at your account. So reach out to one of us, or your sponsor, your director, whoever can help you. Okay. We can get you help, but I think that's an interesting situation. So you may need to get enrolled into the next level. Okay, anybody else have any questions? Okay, I am going to stop the recording.
Yay.